Hello friends, welcome to the video number 26 for the JavaScript video tutorial series. And in this video we're gonna finally start talking about loops, and in this time we're gonna be talking about the for loop. Um, well, first of all, what is a loop? Well, a loop is let's say a tool that basically every programming language has, and it allows us to repeat code, a block of code. We can repeat it as many times as we need or we want, based on certain conditions. And well, the for loop in JavaScript is pretty simple. We're gonna declare a variable here that we're gonna use as a counter. Uh, it's very common to use something like count or just a letter like I, J, K, L, so on. Uh, so let's just the I, and well, we just need to say for. That's it, and then put a couple of parentheses and then our curly braces. And well, inside of these parentheses we are gonna be writing three things. In some cases we can actually omit one of those things, probably maybe even two of these things, but in this case we're gonna be covering everything. We're gonna be placing everything inside. So the first thing that we're gonna put in here is the initial condition, and we're gonna base the for in the variable that we just declared. So as long as no, sorry, the I want it to start in 1. Okay, so it's the initial condition. I is gonna be 1, and then we're gonna place, let's say, the ending condition, or well, the condition that we want to check, and as long as that condition is true, then the flow of execution is going to go inside of the block and it's going to execute whatever it is inside. If this expression evaluates, or condition evaluates to false, then we're going to finish the for loop. Okay, so as long as I is lower equals to 10, right? So we're going to start I at 1, and as long as it's lower or equal to 10. And finally, the third thing that we're going to place here, notice that I am using semicolons to separate each of these conditions or statements. And well, finally, we're going to say what increment or decrement we want to use. In this case, we want to increment, and let's use the three different ways of writing our increments. The first one, remember, it's just I equals I plus 1. So whatever is the value of I, just add it 1. And we're going to be remembering the other two ways of doing this. And finally, it's just a document.write. This is row. I. And let's just run it like this and see what it does and how it looks. So okay, it's doing what it's supposed to do, but it looks terrible. So let's just add a line break, and well, much better. Now again, just remembering, instead of doing I equals I plus 1, remember we can do I plus equals 1, and we get the same result. Or for this particular case, when we want to increment 1 by 1, we can do I plus plus, and we get the same thing. Now, I said for this particular case because of course we can do something like increment by 2, right? We can go to 100 in increments of 10. Whoops, 10, and we can start in 0. Why not? Right? And And well, on the decrement, we can say, okay, I'm going to start at 100, and until, or as long as I is greater equals, remember we cannot do equal greater, even that this looks funny. It's not going to work. And well, let's test it. This is going to be I uh, minus equals 10. So if we try to run this, it just gets stuck right there. So let's just close it and fix this thing. So it has to be greater equal, right? As long as I is greater or equals to 0, let's do whatever is inside of the for loop. Of course, I close it. And okay, there it is, from 100 to 0. And well, I think that's basically for this what I wanted to cover in the for loop. But I wanted to show you that we can do something else, and this is gonna be very useful when we get to see or to talk about arrays. So I know we have not talked about arrays yet, so just bear with me. I just want to show you uh, what the for loop can do for us, or is gonna be able to do for us when we get to talk about arrays. So here I have an array. An array is basically just a collection of elements, and you can see or say that it is an array because I have 4 elements in this case. I have several elements enclosed in these brackets, and each element is separated from the other ones by a comma, right? Now for JavaScript, arrays are objects. Again, don't get too much worried about this. It's just a quick explanation just to see or to try to understand what's going on. Um, so as this is an object, or an arrays are objects, I can use a method. In this case, I'm using this method. You can see this names is the name of the variable or my array. Uh, so names.length is gonna tell me how many elements are inside of this array. In this case, I have 4. And then I'm gonna use this same method inside of my for loop for my conditions, right? So I'm going to start I in 0. Now, this 0, again, we're going to be talking about this more when we get to talk about arrays. But let's say that computers start counting at 0. So the first element is element 0. Second element is element 1, element 2, and element 3. That's why we are starting at 0. And we're going to go as far as, or while this I is lower than 4. In this case, is again, it's a 4. And by using this, we can increment the length of our array, and don't worry about putting just a number here and then we have to come back and change this name. So by using this method, automatically we're gonna get 4. If we add one more, we're gonna get 5. So we don't need to worry about changing this. And of course, my increment is gonna be 1 by 1. And I just want to do a document.write, and we're gonna say the name number 1, right? 0 plus 1, or in the first pass is going to be 0 plus 1. So the name number 1 is, and again, names is the name or the ID of my variable or my array. So names 0 is going to be the first element, and in the second pass is going to be 1. So names 1 is going to be the second element, and so on. So let's just watch this. So again, it tells me, okay, you have 4 elements in here, right? Document.write is names.length, and then we do the loop, and we get the name number 1 is John, the name number 2 is Tom, Sarah, Susan, so on. And so this is going to be very, very useful for when we want to do what is known as traversing the arrays. So to go element by element inside of an object or an array. Again, an array is an object inside of JavaScript. The for loop is going to be very, very useful. And actually, in the next video, we're going to be talking about a special form, let's say, of the for loop, and that is known as the for in, which is going to be even more. It's going to make even easier for us this traversing through arrays. Um, instead of writing all these conditions, we're gonna see that with the for in makes it again easier, much easier for us. All right, but well, now you know that you can use the for loop to repeat a block of code or a chunk of code as many times as you want or you need based on a certain condition. Remember, you have your initial condition, your ending condition, your increment or decrement, and you gotta separate them with semicolons. Um, well, when we get to talk about the while loop, which is the other type of loop, where you're gonna start seeing some differences. Basically, they are both interchangeable, I guess, or I would say, but probably the for loop is gonna be more friendly when we, in like in these cases, we know the exact, let's say, the exact amount of times that we wanna loop through the code. And the while loop is probably gonna be a little bit more useful, um, so to speak, when we don't know exactly how many times we want to loop. We just want to keep looping until something happens or stop happening. But well, again, but they are basically both interchangeable. So you will learn both, and then you will be able to decide which one do you like better, or is best for any specific case that you have. And well, I have rambled too much. It's 11 and a half minutes, so we're gonna stop the video right here. As always, I hope that you have found this video really, really useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share and like the video, and well, I hope to see you on the next one.